Welcome once again, James Hackley, author of the best-selling book, Body, Mind, and Spirit, The Awakening. And thank you. Thank you yet again for continuing to check out my video blogs. Today's topic is a little different. Today we're going to talk about something that you wouldn't expect a guy who authored Body, Mind, and Spirit to talk about, but it is indeed related, and that is virginity. Just the other day, I was watching ESPN, and they had a special on Lolo Jones, the track star. You guys may be familiar with her work. As a matter of fact, a lot of folks were hating on her because during the Olympics, she failed to win any of the medals that were expected. But one of the things that really piqued my interest or helped my respect for Lolo grow in the interview was the fact that despite all of her fame and success on the track and even her amazing, stunning beauty, she maintains her virginity. She's like, this is something I'm going to save for that man that I, get married, that I give myself to. And I thought that that was a very admirable characteristic, especially in today's society. Now, when I was growing up back in the day, the only star who was a celebrity for being a virgin was AC Green. A lot of you maybe remember AC Green. But it got me thinking, why is it that not just now, but it seems like as far as I can remember, it's always been the end thing to be promiscuous, and virgins were always deemed to be the nerds. This purpose of this video is to maybe we can switch that paradigm and start giving some big ups to folks that maintain their virginity until they get married. As a matter of fact, when I'm meditating or when I'm just spending some quiet time, I often think about, penning a letter to my 11-year-old self. I lost my virginity when I was 12. But if I were to pen a letter to my 11-year-old self, one of the things in that letter would be to maintain your virginity until you get married. And the more I think about this subject, I'm like, a lot of times we approach sex from a position of ignorance. Unfortunately, no longer do that many fathers take the time to have that talk, that sex talk, that birds and the bees talk with their sons. Number one reason, a lot of times the father is absent from the household. And it seems like mothers aren't really having that talk with their daughters as well. And I think that we as a society, we need to get back to talking to our kids about sex. Let's be clear, they're maturing earlier in today's society with media. They got sex all over the place. So they're going to get those influences younger and younger. And about the ages of 11 and 12, kids are becoming very sexually active in one form or another. So we need to start talking to our kids about sex in general, but also maintaining that virginity. And one of the reasons that I would write in my letter to my 11-year-old self to maintain my virginity is because the older I get, the more I realize the importance and what sex was intended for, especially when I read the Bible. And when you read the Bible, it's very clear that sex was intended for one man and one woman. And what happens is we are spirits. In my book, Body, Mind, and Spirit, I talk about that beneath the flesh, and once we get past what we think, we are in our very true essence, we are spirits. So when we come together as one in a sexual way, that's a way for two spirits to join. And that's something that was meant to be a union between a husband and a wife. It was a lifetime bond and something they would form and something that would keep them bonded forever until death did them part. But over the years, as you know, people have sex without getting married. And what happens, it seems like that once we do that, once we have sex with partners before we get married, we have ghosts in our past because that sharing, that intimacy that we sharing, we have lingering spirits of folks that we've been with in an intimate manner. Just imagine if you were pursuing this young lady and you guys have a talk and she tells you that, yeah, when I was younger, I was kind of out there, I was promiscuous. And she confesses that she had sex with maybe 1,000 guys. She could be a beautiful person. She could be a God-fearing person. But the fact that she had sex with 1,000 people, or ladies, you may be thinking the same thing. If some guy got his Wilt Chamberlain on and had sex with 20,000 women, you might, that's a bit much. So once we look at our sexual history, a lot of times those are ghosts that continue to haunt us up until we get married. Because what happens is the more sexual experiences we've had and the more other influences we've had, we begin to put those expectations on our partner as well. But just imagine if a virgin man and virgin woman come together with none of that past sexual baggage, with none of that past sexual hurt and all of that stuff, if they come together, then they're both neophytes in the game of sexuality. So it's a beautiful thing when they learn and share together. So virginity, I think it's without a doubt, it's something that we need to start impressing upon our kids and having that discussion with them about virginity. So I'm proud this particular video. This is a video that I have a 13-year-old nephew and I have other younger cousins. This is a video that I want them to watch as well, if they're not already sexually active. And this is a video that I encourage you to point your kids or the young kids that you know in your life that you know that may be on the verge or maybe they're already sexually active, to look at something like this and just to use this video to spark some discussion. Virginity, the V word. You're not nerdy if you're a virgin. You're a person of principles, and we should do more to big up and shout out those virgins that we know. Until next time, thank you once again. And once again, I encourage you to go visit me at www.jameshackley.com and put your comments here about virginity. Anything you may want to share, put your comments on the blog, and also send me an email to info@jameshackley.com. God bless.